Hey everybody, I'm Mike Arce and welcome back for another free training, 100% end-to-end free, no strings attached. I just basically want to help more fitness studios learn the concept of marketing so they can finally stop wasting so much money and actually start getting more paying members in the door, keeping more of their members, and also building their brand so they can have something that actually lasts for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and they don't have to work so hard and spend so much money to get new members in every single time. So if you watch my last video, we really went more into like a 101. So how do we first get Facebook set up? What is it that we actually do? What platforms are good? All that stuff. If you haven't watched it, definitely go back and watch the 101. You can see that on my page. But let's definitely dive into the 102 right now while we're live, as this is stuff that I promised you in the last one. And in the next session, we're going to be doing 103 as well. So you're going to want to get registered for that one as well. And also, if you haven't gotten this Fitness Marketing Secrets booklet, I'm giving it away for free. There's a certain amount left. So you can go to fitnessmarketingsecrets.com and I will make sure you get a copy. All right, so let's first talk about how marketing actually works, because I think the reason a lot of small business owners, especially in the fitness industry, have such a hard time growing their fitness studio is because they don't really understand marketing the way I think some of the best CEOs and entrepreneurs actually do. So think of the most successful people out there: Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Marcus Lemonis, any of the Shark Tank members. All of those guys really have a great handle on marketing. They understand it well. And I think a lot of small business owners delegate it. Now, as a person that most people would delegate to, right? I work with over 1,000 studios in my agency. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but when I look at it, the best studios that we work with, the absolute best ones, they understand marketing very well and they still delegate the work to us. But they do a lot of other stuff on their own, but we also have really great conversations around it, and we are able to actually build something that is able to just dominate the competition in the area that's just delegating to an agency that doesn't know anything about what they're talking about, and they don't know marketing, and everybody's just kind of throwing rocks and hoping it hits something. So I'm going to show you guys the stuff that actually matters today so you can start focusing on that. So marketing, at the end of the day, you really want to find a way to get your product, your brand, and the value proposition that it has out to the right people, the people that could be the best customers for you, and stay in front of them as often as you possibly can. Remember this, it's not about when you're ready for them to buy, it's about when they're ready to buy, and you want to meet them where they're at. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. You're obviously ready for more members to just come flooding in the doors right now. I'm pretty confident if members call you or people call you, wanted to pay for a membership, you've got something for them, you can get them signed up. But they may not be at that point there right now, right? Good news is, this is a study I just got at a conference called Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. The average woman goes through 8 weight loss plans per year. 8. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean 8 new ones. It could mean 8 the same one. They just keep doing it over and over, hoping it works. It could mean a combination of a few different ones, or it could mean 8 separate ones. But the average woman goes through 8 separate weight loss plans per year. That means they go through 8 levels of pain per year that is associated with them not being in the shape or fitness that they actually want to be in. You want to make sure you're there when they need you at that exact pain point. Because whether it's their husband's not paying attention to them, whether it's their dress isn't fitting, whether it's a small child asks them if they're pregnant and they're not, whatever it could be, it doesn't matter. There's certain triggers that happen throughout the year that get somebody to go, I need to make a change. And your job is to be there consistently, knowing that those triggers are going to happen and you'll be right there front and center when it does, not doing what most people do, which is running ads to cold traffic, hoping some people want this or in the pain right now, and then they go after whole new sets of cold traffic in the following month and don't really do much to nurture that old traffic that they already worked hard to get in front of and should have stayed in front of, because that familiarity continues to compound over time, and that's really where the trust and the magic happens. Instead of people Googling coffee, for instance, the studies show that more people in the US Google Starbucks near me versus coffee shop near me when they're looking for coffee. Isn't that crazy? Why wouldn't you just look for the nearest coffee shop? Why Starbucks? Most connoisseurs in coffee actually say Starbucks isn't the best coffee, and a lot of people know that. Well, it's something about the brand. I have a trust. I know what I'm going to get when I get there. I know it's going to be good. I know the coffee is going to be reasonably priced. I know what kind of atmosphere I'm going to get. The brand's so familiar to me that I trust it, and I'd rather search that. So if you own a Pilates studio, your mission should be, how can I make it so that when people want a Pilates class, when they want to actually get a Pilates membership, they're not Googling a Pilates studio near me, they're Googling your Pilates studio name because they've been seeing it for the last year or 2 years over and over. That's really when you start to dominate the space and the competitors really start getting in a really bad spot. They struggle and you wipe them out. You want to be that person, not the one that gets wiped out. Okay, so let's take it back. For those of you guys that are in business for less than 3 or 4 years, you may not know about the trend that I'm speaking about, but it's important for you to know it. Those of you guys that have been in business for more than 4 years, you're very clear with the trends that I'm going to be speaking of, and you may have already forgotten about it because you keep getting in the cycle of it's working now, but you're going to want to pay attention. Everyone's going to want to pay attention to this, okay? So when I started doing advertising full-time for other companies, small businesses, it was the year 2009. And in 2009, directories were very, very popular. Whether it was Yellow Pages Online or Kudzu or Yelp. Yelp was really just kind of coming out at the time, right around that 2009, 2010 mark. That was really popular. Google search was just starting to get popular for local businesses, and they came up with maps, and it was great, right? And so I really shifted my agency to focus predominantly on SEO, and we did incredible. In fact, a lot of businesses that started doing SEO did really great. For those of you that don't know SEO, it's basically the process that an agency like mine would go through in order to adjust your website and other online sites that are tied to your website to make sure that you rank first on Google when somebody searches something that you should rank for, right? So if somebody searches Pilates studio near me, you're at the top instead of your competition, or Pilates studio or anything similar to that, right? Those keywords. So SEO was great. It was fantastic. We did such a great job for our customers, and in turn, I got to speak around the country, and our agency was growing. Then all of a sudden, what we noticed was SEO wasn't working as well. That map section went from 7 down to 5, down to 3, eventually kind of wiped out in a lot of cases. Directories started taking over, and so a lot of people started shifting to Google AdWords, at least the smart agencies did. In fact, more than 70% of agencies went out of business around the time that SEO went through its dramatic changes. Those of you guys that have been around for 7, 8 years, you know the terms Panda and Hummingbird and Penguin. Those are all the names of the updates that Google did to change everything about how you ranked. And you had to figure it out and to figure out what the next thing is and how to rank it. No one really knew what it was, so you just had to keep testing. Wiped out a ton of agencies, wiped out a ton of businesses. And so the people that were smart and adjusted and adapted, well, they went from SEO to Google AdWords. Now, Google AdWords was around at the same time as SEO, and it was doing really well. But once SEO wasn't working as well, then AdWords started to get a ton of activity because people were reliant on their ability to rank on the first page of Google. And when you can't do it organically because SEO is not working, well, then they started paying for it, right? And so that's what Google AdWords is, getting ranked on the top 3 spots because you're sponsoring those positions with your company. So we got really great in AdWords. Same thing, spoke around the country for Google AdWords. We started growing our agency. A lot of the customers that we had lost, we were able to get back. It was fantastic. We learned a lesson that day, though. We learned that, man, anything could happen. You could just get wiped out. Your whole marketing plan could just change if all of a sudden something snaps his fingers and the game's different, right? And you got to learn how to adjust to the rules. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. So when we started doing AdWords, we didn't say, okay, well, that's it now. Everything is AdWords. We knew that eventually this was going to start going down again, and it did. Costs for clicks and leads in AdWords started not only doubling, but tripling, sometimes 10xing. Leads that used to cost $2 a click, now we're costing $20 or $30 a click. So when only 1 out of 4 people or 5 people were actually coming to the site, it was costing you $100 for a lead. And if you're only closing 1 out of 5 of those, oh, you're paying a lot for a customer. And here's the thing. I love search. I thought it was great, but I've learned now as AdWords started shifting out for local businesses and Facebook really started finding its groove. By the way, this is starting to become this now, and we'll talk about that. But once I really got a chance to play with both AdWords and Facebook, I actually realized that search is not as good as disruptive. The reason is because this person made a conscious decision to sit down and search for a Pilates studio. I want to join a Pilates studio or a yoga studio. I want that. I'm going to search for it. Here are 20 options. I'm going to go ahead and call them and get price shops. So it basically becomes a price race to the bottom. That's really what it becomes. With Facebook, however, and Instagram and YouTube, you're disrupting them. And you're hitting them based on where they're at right now because you could target that way. So if they're recently searching for weight loss or diets or ketogenic or anything like that, then you can know that they're in pain and you can start putting your ads in front of them, which is really great. But now they're not price shopping you because they're not in search mode. You just happen to be the person that made them aware that there's a solution to their problem. And that's the best part, right? So there's unaware, there's aware, and you want to make sure you make them aware. And then there's levels to that as well. There's problem aware, and then there's solution aware. First, you want to make them aware that they've got a problem. Then you want to make them aware that there's a solution. And that's where your ads come in. So Facebook came in, Instagram came in, YouTube, which right now, this is a thing that most people aren't doing, and it's definitely the future. But currently, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are the present. And there's an amazing opportunity still, and it probably still will be for about the next 6 months to a year before the price continues to escalate more. And now a cost per click that used to be 10 cents, that's now at $1 or $2, may go to 5 or 10, and just follow the same trends that we've been seeing in marketing world all the time. Okay, so currently, how do we take this Marketing 102 to Facebook? So we talked about this in the last training that I did, and you want to start with your marketing funnel, which is actually very simple to build, okay? And I'm going to break it down to you. So first, you start with your ad, then you take them to a landing page, and I'll tell you all this and break it down. Then you take them to a thank you page, and then from here, you want to give them some automation. So the automation are going to be an automated text message, an automated email sequence, right? So there'll be a series of emails that'll go through. You also want to make sure that they remove what's called a retargeting pixel, and I'll show you what I mean by that as well. And then you also want to make sure that you plug them into your CRM or whatever you're doing to host all of the leads that you've generated from this campaign. Now I'm going to dissect them so you know what I mean. Okay, so for your ad, for those of you that were in my first training, you know the great thing about Facebook and Instagram and YouTube is that you can target. And like we discussed in the previous training, a really great thing for, let's say, a fitness studio like Pilates, yoga, HIIT, bar, anything like that, is going to be that female 25 to 55-year-old that's within 5 miles of your studio, okay? Within 5 miles of your studio. So now, depending on your location, if you're in Manhattan, maybe 1 mile. If you're like Tucson, Arizona, maybe 7 or 8, right? It just depends on your location, but average is typically right around that 5 mile mark. But now what do we say in the ad? Now that we're targeting them, what do we say in the ad? Same thing with the landing page. What do we say on the landing page that we want them to fill out? And then on the thank you page, what do we say on the thank you page in order to get them to take action, make a call, and come into the studio? So that's what we're going to break down today. So as far as the ad goes, you always want to make sure that you're A/B testing. So for those of you that don't know what A/B testing is, it's your ability to run 2 ads simultaneously that Facebook will actually, whenever somebody's coming up that fits the demographic and they're scrolling through their feed, Facebook will send 50-50. 50-50 of the people, they'll send this ad. 50-50 of the people, they'll send that ad. So basically, you're going to be able to send virtually the same ad with one little change, one variable that is going to allow Facebook and you to determine which one is actually producing more leads at a lower cost. So you only want to change one variable at a time. If you change more than one variable to the ad, well, then you're not going to know what variable is actually the difference maker. So typically, you may want to change the image or the video, or make one an image, make one a video, or you change the offer, the copy. It doesn't matter at this point. I always say start with the image, then go with the copy, and then the offer. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, just change one. And then as days go on, keep adjusting, keep A/B testing until you find the one that's bringing in the most leads at the best cost. You're going to do this all the way across the board. But when you're selecting your ad, you want to first make sure that you select a conversion campaign. So when you log into Facebook, you'll notice the first thing it asks you when you create a campaign, it says to select a campaign objective. you're going to choose conversions, okay? And you start building your campaign from there. The next thing is going to ask you to go ahead and create your ad set, which is your targeting. This is the only targeting you're going to include. Female 25 to 55 within a 5-mile radius. Then it's going to ask you to create an ad. So this is where you create your ad, and I'm going to talk about the things that are in your ad in order to make sure that you're most successful with it. So one of them is specificity. You want to make sure you have specificity in your ad. What I mean by that is if you're in Springfield, then you want to say, attention Springfield, okay? Call them out. Know that this is something local. It's for them. Attention Springfield residents. Attention Vistancia residents. Make them know it's something that's more exclusive to them. It works versus when you take it out, it doesn't work as well. The next one is exclusivity. We are offering Springfield residents an exclusive offer of, okay? Next is scarcity. So with scarcity, we are offering Springfield residents an exclusive offer of a free week to come and work out at our studio. We are only offering this to 30 people, or to the first 30 people that claim the offer, right? Scarcity. Okay, popularity. If you want to see why people are saying that XYZ Pilates is the best place to work out in the valley or in the town, right? Popularity, okay? The next one is urgency. We are only offering this for the next 30 days or the next 7 days. So hurry while offers last, okay? Now, if you can include rarity, rarity is really great too. So companies like Orange Theory can say, we are the only fitness studio that's designed their programs based on science, right? They can say that. That's rarity. So if you have something that you do that's rare, that's a competitive advantage, include that as well. So you want to include as many of these points as you can in the copy that goes above the ad. Now, you may not be able to get them all. We do. But it's tough. It is very tough. But it's your first time writing ad copy. You may only be able to find a way to get 3 or 4 in and keep it conversational, but you want to find a way to do it, okay? Then, as far as the image of the ad goes, you want to know who your customer actually is, your ideal customer. So if you've ever heard of the term customer avatar, or buyer persona, virtually the exact same thing, okay? Essentially what it's saying is, who's the best customer you've got that if you could, you'd multiply them over and over again, and who are they? What makes them them, right? So for us, we've got 2. One of them's named Daniel, the other one's named Joanne. They're actually named after customers that we've considered ideal customers that we build our business for. When we build our company, we're thinking of those 2 people. When we create videos like this, we're thinking of those 2 people. When we add new products or events, we're thinking of these 2 people. We want to create a company that's perfect for them because they're perfect for us. So we want to continue that. So for you, who is it? And you may have 1, you may have 2, you may have 3. It's great to have 2 or 3. Give them a name and describe them. How old are they? What do they like to do? Because once you have that, who do you think is going to be in the picture or in the video? It's going to be people that look like and act like the exact customer avatar that you want. So if you're going after Daniel, who's mid-30s, pretty fit guy already, well, then you want some pretty fit people in their mid-30s here. If you're going after 40 to 50-year-old women that are somewhat in shape, but they're still kind of like new to the whole fitness game, well, then maybe you're going to have people here that are not in the best shape of their life and they look like they're 40s and their 50s, right? So you're going to want to make sure you know who this is so you can attract the people that have already decided you're perfect for them, okay? As far as the call to action goes, if it's a video, put watch more. You're going to get to choose what that button says. If it's an image, put learn more, okay? Here in the headline, you're going to put whatever the offer is. Free week pass, 30 for 30, right? 30 free days for $30, 5-day pass, free session, whatever it is. By the way, when it comes to the offer, don't be the person that says, we don't like to do discounts or offers because it devalues our service. That's just not true, okay? The reason a lot of people start saying that is because they hear companies like Apple and watch companies like Apple that never discount or offer discounts. They're Apple. They've been around for a while. And in the first 8 years of their business, all they did was deals and negotiations and give discounts and offers because they knew that the first thing they had to do was get the marketplace. So if your business isn't exploding right now, well, then you're not Apple, because theirs is, if you haven't heard. It's doing really well. So you want to make sure that you get yourself to the point where you got so many customers, you got so much buy-in, you got so many people bringing in friends that, yeah, maybe then down the road, you can avoid the discounts because you got so much branding bringing people in, like Starbucks does in that example that I gave you, right? So for right now, how do we get as many people in the door? And if you're afraid of it devaluing your service, because you probably believe you're pretty good. And if you're as good as you think you are, then just get them in the door and let how great your class is make the close, right? Okay, so once you create this ad, like I said, you're gonna wanna duplicate the ad and make another version of it with one thing different, whether it's the image or the way you pitched it or whatever. Okay, then you wanna send them to a landing page. Now, we use the best tool in the market for landing pages. It's this awesome company that I'm so glad we found. We used to use this other company called Lead Pages. Now we use clickfunnelspromo.com. So if you go to clickfunnelspromo.com, you'll be able to actually see the exact tool that we use, and it's drag and drop. I'm not a coder. I'm not a designer. I'm not a developer. I don't know how to do any of those things. When I look at code, it's like looking at another language to me. So, but I do know what looks good, like as far as dragging and dropping. I know how to type and backspace and all that. If you can fill out your Facebook profile so that you can have a Facebook page of your own, you can create a landing page. It's really not that difficult. And with this clickfunnelspromo.com, you get a 14-day free trial, so you can check it out and see how you like it and get used to it and actually create a few landing pages before you actually start paying for it. We are at the point now where I can create a landing page in less than a half hour. It's pretty quick. So you want to be able to do the same thing, and they've got already preloaded templates that are already designed. All you have to do is backspace and like put in your company name and swap it out with your pictures. The templates are beautiful. Okay, so now what do we do on this landing page? The big mistake that a lot of people do in this part right here is they forget that all I want to sell you to is the next step. Too many people want to go from ad to member. I want to get you to see how great we are, and I want you to want to pay for a membership right from here. That's why a lot of agencies aren't good at getting leads for their customers. That's why a lot of customers aren't good at getting leads for themselves, is because they think that the ad is selling the membership. The ad is simply selling the next step. That's it. The landing page is selling the next step, and then this is getting them in your studio, and then you sell them the membership. So it's a little bit of a journey here. But when done right, it's actually simpler than doing it your way, because you're just spinning wheels and you're spending a ton of money that you worked hard for and you're not getting anywhere. So with here, all you want them to do is to learn more or watch more. Now on this landing page, I want you to look at this as like this is a trailer to a movie and this is the movie, right? The trailer to the movie is really quick, short, maybe it's 1 minute to 3 minutes long, tells you a little bit about what you're gonna watch, and then you get to the movie and it's like, wow, this is it. I get it now. This is everything that this is the movie. It's fantastic. So here, you're gonna talk about the free week, but then here on the landing page, you're gonna talk about all the things that come along with your free week. So if you're going to offer measurements or body fat analysis or assessments, if you're going to offer a nutritional consultation, if you're going to offer a free t-shirt or water or supplements or anything, whatever it is, break it down. And by the way, break it down as much as you can. Don't worry about it being silly. If you give out a protein bar and a drink, don't say snacks and beverages. Say we're going to give you an awesome drink, or we're going to give you this state-of-the-art protein bar or whatever. Like really sell it, right? So your landing page, the goal of the landing page is to get them to fill out the form. That's what this is selling. Fill out the form. That's it. Claim my pass. You want to ask for their first name, last name, email, and phone number. You get a lot of marketing experts to say, just collect the first name and the email and you'll get a higher conversion rate. You will, but only about 10%. So if you had to pick, I'd rather have 100 leads with the first name and email or 90 leads with the first name, last name, email, and phone number. What would you rather have? Smart people are going to say, yeah, give me 90 with the number and the last name. You keep these, right? And so same thing goes. We want to collect all four because you're not going to really sacrifice that much to get all that information. Now, once they fill out the form, you want to take them to this thank you page. Now, on this thank you page, you want to have what's called a bonus offer. The bonus offer is created to incentivize them to call you. Call us before we call you, and we'll actually give you an additional week for free. We'll throw in a free set of Pilates socks. We'll give you a free nutritional consult. We'll give you a free body fat analysis. We'll give you 5 free passes for friends, whatever it is. Find something that has very, very low cost in time or money to you, but very high return if it makes them call you so you don't have to call and follow up and chase them down, right? So you want to make sure that has that. Now, you see I put a video here. I think it's best explained in a video, but you can also just explain it in text if you like. And don't overthink the videos. One of the account managers here, James, said something really great, which is you want to blend in to stand out. What that means is on Facebook, we flip through the stuff that looks like ads. We are used to staying and watching the stuff that looks like raw video. So don't feel like you have to create this big, expensive $5,000 production. In reality, you with your cell phone, we have over 1,000 customers we worked with. Many of them are just being done with their phones. In fact, almost all of them. And it works really great because that's what people are used to stopping and watching. So don't overthink this. Don't overthink anything I'm telling you here. Most of this stuff right here is what I'm telling you. Take it at face value here, okay? So now on here, the goal of the thank you page is to get them to reach out to you. That's it. Incentivize them to call you first. Now, once they fill out this form, I should have actually put that this arrow went here, like that. Because once they fill out the form, there's things that should happen automatically. Remember how I said you want to make sure they get an automated text, and they get an automated email, and they get an automated integration in their CRM, and also retargeting? So we can actually set it up, and you can do this too. It's very simple, where you can plug in tools that make it super simple for you to set up, again, without any coding or developing experience. So ClickFunnelsPromo.com integrates with great texting software, with great email software, with great CRMs. I'm going to share those with you here in a second. But before I do, I want to dive into retargeting. So for those of you that don't know what retargeting is, this is more of like a level 2 topic. So if you've been to Amazon before, and let's say you decided you wanted to buy this marker, okay, and you got all the way to the checkout page, but you decided at the last second not to buy, or you just didn't buy because something happened. Your boss called you, somebody called you, you just had to back out, right? You didn't finish. Well, now you'll notice that wherever you go, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or blogs, this marker seems to follow you everywhere you go, asking you to finish your purchase. That's called retargeting, and you can do it too. So what you can say is, if somebody watches my video for a certain amount of time, you could choose 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%, 95%, right? If anybody watches whatever percent of the video I choose, I want them to automatically be in what's called a custom audience. If you don't know how to create a custom audience, Google how to create a custom audience in Facebook. It is the simplest thing in the world. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. Okay, so you want to say, okay, anybody that watches, let's say as an example, 25% of my video, I want to automatically place them in this custom audience. And now you can always run ads to these people. So instead of always targeting a general demographic, you can say, I also want to run ads to people that have already seen my company plenty of times, right? So now you can do that. Now, you could do the same thing where somebody clicks on your ad and they land on your landing page. Your custom audience, once you create it, you'll actually be able to apply a pixel to your landing page, which is simple. ClickFunnels Promo makes it simple. You'll be able to add a snippet of code that they'll give you to your landing page that will automatically make it so whenever somebody lands on that landing page, they too enter into that custom audience, right? So now you've got this custom audience that you can run ads to. Now, if somebody fills out the form and lands in the thank you page, you want to have a snippet of code in the thank you page that also lets them know, hey, they filled out the form. I don't want this pixel on them anymore. I want a different one. I don't want them in this custom audience anymore. I don't want to run ads to them like that anymore because we've already got them in the next phase. We own that traffic now. So now what you're going to be saying is, I only want people that have shown interest but have not given me their information. And you can run ads to those people like that, okay? Now, as far as your CRM goes, your email and your text, CRMs that are really good, MindBody is a really good one. As far as texting goes and email goes, I'm actually going to include the links to the companies that I recommend up here in the copy, the ones that I think work really, really well, so that you guys can have access to those too. But you'll be able to create it so that as soon as somebody fills out this form, automatically they'll get a text message from you inviting them to come to the studio. The reason that's important is because there's a study done. If you go to Google and type in MIT contact form leads 900%, or 5 minutes, type in that, right? What you'll notice is that there was a great study done by MIT with a ton of people involved that said that leads that were filled out online, form leads that were filled out online, that take longer than a 5-minute period to call and follow up with them, have a 900% decrease in contact rate. This means if you call them within 5 minutes or longer than 5 minutes, that's going to be a 900% difference on your ability to actually get them on the call. So we want to be able to get to these people right away. The best way to do that, because I know sometimes you're running classes or sometimes you're already on the phone with somebody, you're taking care of a customer. There's so many things that can prevent you from calling your leads right away. So we want to set it up so that at least that lead gets contacted right away automatically. And the cool thing is, with the tools that I'll be recommending, the name that they put in the form will automatically go into the text message. Again, this is super simple. Don't think you have to be a coder or developer. I do this, and I'm not by any means. I'm just showing you guys the secrets that once you guys know how to do it, you know how to do it. So it'll automatically take their name. So the text message would say, hey, and it'll have brackets for first name, but to that person that got that message, it'll say, hey, Mike, I just saw that you filled out a form, and there it goes. So you're basically saying, when's a good time for us to jump on a call to get you scheduled for your first class? So this is great. Same thing for the email. You can set it up the same way. So automatically they'll get a text message and they'll get an email from you in which they can reply to either one and engage in conversation so you guys can set them up. These two things right here are crucial to your ability to be able to get the most value out of the people that you've gotten to click on your ad and fill out a form. Okay, so this is the basic funnel and the stuff that I want you to have inside of it. The main thing that I want you guys to understand when it comes to your next level of marketing, because I don't want to dive into 103 stuff, that's going to be for the next level. The main thing I want you to understand is it's important to know who your customer is, who your ideal, who are you targeting, so that you can write stuff that they care about with images that they can relate to or videos that they can relate to. And you're also making sure that you're capturing the traffic that showed some level of interest already, so you can continue showing ads to them down the road that may continue to get them in. So, hey, that offer is about to expire. Hey, don't forget. Hey, we've seen you here before, but you didn't finish. There's so many things you could do, but you want to make sure that you're collecting who those people are so that you can eventually run ads to them in a more unique way than when you're advertising to a general audience. So, it's tricky when we're creating videos like this and I'm doing trainings through a live stream because I can't have the questions in the Q&A that come in. But for you guys that are watching, please leave your comments, leave your questions in the comments, anything you'd like me to add, and I'll be able to make more videos on this stuff. I'm on a mission right now to just help as many fitness studios as I can, get away from all the nonsense, stop wasting money, and start doing more of the stuff that actually matters. That's why I'm giving this book away, Fitness Marketing Secrets. Again, if you go to fitnessmarketingsecrets.com, it's 100% free for right now. We've got a limited supply that we're giving away. We've had some of the best studios in the world read through this book, be mentioned in this book. I've traveled all over the country to interview some of the best entrepreneurs and business owners to learn what they do, how they think, how they run their ads, how they keep their people. And fitnessmarketingsecrets.com, you're going to be able to learn a ton of that, as well as resources of where you can learn this stuff continuously without having to be a marketing person. Just be a business owner that wants to get this stuff accomplished. So use the comment box below. Let me know what you think. And if you want to make it to the next training, just go ahead and use the link above as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.